So Kingston finally decided to release their Gen 5 x 4 SSD, and it was definitely worth a wait, because right here we have Kingston Fury Renegade G5 Gen 5 x 4, and this one specifically is 4 terabytes. You have it in 1, 2, and 4, and it's single-sided. Now, when you think about Gen 5 SSDs and everything that I had so far, they were all, I think the majority was double-sided SSD. So you might take into consideration it might heat up, there might be some problems or anything similar to that. Well, the only thing that I could do is laugh on those presumptions, because this right here is definitely the best Gen 5 SSD currently on the channel that I had to review. This one right here does an outstanding work with everything, and you'll see when we go to the benchmarks. But before we go to the benchmarks, of course, I need to go through some specs and the details that you need to know. So the full name, because we need to go through that as well: Kingston Fury Renegade G5 PCIe 5.0 NVMe M.2 SSD for definitely high power users, hardware enthusiasts, and gamers. And this is, I don't know. I'm so surprised with everything that this SSD showed me in benchmarks that it's remarkable. So read speeds go up to 14,800 megabytes per second, and write speeds go up to 14,000. Extreme performance with everything. I'm talking here about game and application load times, improved reaction time, and, well, the thermals. The thermals are what are the crucial here in Gen 5. So it's designed with Silicon Motion SM2508 controller based on 6 nanometers lithography, which allows it to have better thermal management and solution. So low power DDR4 DRAM cache is providing less power consumption. It has independent buck IC for consistent power draw and 12-layer PCB for enhanced signal quality and superior data integrity. Now, it has the standard 2280 form factor and fits literally in every single motherboard that has the standard M.2 2280 form factor, because even though with the passive small sticker heatsink, it fits with any additional thermal pads and the original passive heatsinks from the motherboard, so you don't have to worry about that part. And the best thing, it's back compatible with Gen 3 and Gen 4 systems, so you don't have to worry about that. If you're going to upgrade in the future, for instance, you're buying the SSD prior to your new motherboard, you can simply go with this one and then later on upgrade to motherboard that supports Gen 5 SSDs. It's simple as that, so you're good to go. Now, to quickly sum it all up, we have controller SM2508, NAND 3D TLC, DRAM cache, direct storage supported, and advanced thermal design. Now, since I mentioned advanced thermal design, we have idle temperature ranging from 25 to 27 degrees. This is, I think, the lowest that I had in all Gen 5 SSDs. But when we go with ASSD, and actually there is no but, because when we go to ASSD, read speeds are 11,170.10 megabytes per second, and write speeds are 11,509.51 megabytes per second. To make it clear, thermals in ASSD are 44 degrees. Then we go with Auto Disk benchmark, and Auto and Crystal Disk Mark actually have the highest thermals when we're benchmarking the SSDs. So Auto Disk benchmark read speeds 13.95 gigabytes per second and write speeds 12.88 gigabytes per second. Before we go to thermals, these are the highest scores in Auto Disk benchmark that I had on the channel on any SSD. So this is currently the fastest Gen 5 SSD on the channel in Auto Disk benchmark with 48 degrees. Just let's go back a bit and recall those other Gen 5 SSDs that I had. They were all somewhere around 70 degrees. Some went even higher with thermal throttling. Some were at 70, keeping the speeds stable, but 48 compared to 70, that's 22 degrees difference. That's insane. And when we go to Crystal Disk Mark, read speeds 14,826.51 megabytes per second, write speeds 13,727.65 megabytes per second, with thermals again at 48 degrees. Now, I don't know what to say here, and they really, I mean, it was definitely worth the wait. But let's go. So Crystal read 1.7 million IOPS and write 1.3 million IOPS with 53 degrees. This is the highest thermals that I got for this SSD. And I was honestly, I was pushing it at maximum as much as I could. Then we go with some real life testing in terms of file transfer, 54.9 gigabyte file transfer, read speeds 4.51 gigabyte per second, write speed 3.58 gigabytes per second. The thermals here, honestly, I couldn't even measure because it was going so fast. I really need to grab an even higher file just to be able to get some consistency and to grab that thermals in that scenario. But honestly, seeing these thermals prior to the real life test, I don't think it went above 50. And then we go with 3D Mark with overall score 3477. Now, I'll be honest with you, I did expect much, much more, but it is at the top of the pile of the SSDs in general. So that's outstanding. And the interesting part, the constant thermals were at 43 degrees. So taking everything into consideration, this is currently the best SSD, I can say it, on the market. Because first of all, it has outstanding speeds. I don't think anyone can beat these speeds at the moment. And finally, what we have are brilliant thermals. This is the coolest Gen 5 SSD that I had for review. Now, when it arrived, I was expecting something, okay? I was expecting something, and even when I placed it inside the PC, I didn't even notice, I don't know, that's really strange for me, not to notice it's single-sided. So when I took a look a bit and recorded additional footage and stuff like that, I was looking at the SSD and I thought, wow, single-sided SSD Gen 5 cooled down so good just with the passive heatsink of the motherboard, so you don't have to have anything additionally like those extreme passive slash active coolers with small fans that, okay, they do cool down, they do work, but it's totally unnecessary with this one. It works brilliant. There is no thermal throttle. There is no drops. It's consistent in every segment, and I'm just so fascinated by it. I know this sounds a lot of positive, and the only thing that I can say in ASSSD, it didn't perform at #1 place, right? But when we take everything, literally everything else into consideration, it just beats all SSDs without a single doubt. So if you ask me, waiting for Kingston's products in general to be released a bit later than what the whole market is doing at this certain point, I think is worth the wait. Because what they did with the G5, Fury Renegade G5, is worth a PC Crazy Hall of Fame badge. And you know that Hall of Fame badge isn't given a lot, and you know it accumulates all the badges that I have. I mean, just insane. The price tag for the 4 terabytes is 550 euros, and I know in general that is a big price, to be honest. That's a lot of money. But when we take into consideration Gen 5 SSDs, the storage, and everything, what you get from this one, consistency, thermals, and everything that I mentioned so far, we got ourselves a winner. And definitely, if you're looking for Gen 5 SSD, my warm recommendations for this one, because Kingston dropped the mic. And that's it, guys. That's it. Kingston Fury Renegade G5, Gen 5 times 4, 4 terabytes. You have it in 2 and 1 terabyte as well. And what's there left to say, guys? The link is in the description so you can check everything out that I might have skipped or missed or whatever. But the benchmarks prove everything, and I don't think there's anything left to say except leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this one. I'm quite curious about your thoughts on it, because it performs great and there's nothing left to add on that part, but except for your thoughts. And of course, if you like the video or the SSD, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell so you don't miss any future content coming quite shortly. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.